I'm so happy to share with you one of my many dumpling recipes. With many households being vegetarian and non-vegetarian, I'm going to show you how to make vegetarian and non-vegetarian dumplings in a very short amount of time. More importantly, you won't buy dumplings from the store after you have this recipe simply because now you know what's in the dumpling. There's not a lot of sodium. I'll show you how to make this healthy but delicious with an additional sauce right at the end. With that, let's get started.
I start by cutting up the vegetables that will work well with both proteins, and you need to cut these vegetables fine by using the same vegetables you reduce on the prep time. Cutting up green onions is the start. I'm chopping up dry spicy tofu, and then I'm going to crumble this. This will be the protein for the vegetarian dumpling. Next, I chop up cremini mushrooms and then chop them very fine. I add in baby bok choy tips to both of these dumplings. I find it gives it a great flavor. Take the time to chop these up very fine. What's a dumpling without a little ginger? I always store my ginger in the freezer just so it keeps really fresh and really well. So I'm going to chop up some ginger really fine. You might find a little water released. Next, I'm chopping up some garlic, and I'm lining them up in a very specific way so that I can just split it down in the middle. This reduces on side plates, cutting boards, mess. Time is of the essence. I don't have a lot of extra time, so by lining it up, I can evenly divide these ingredients into the vegetarian and non-vegetarian item. I'm using a lot fewer dishes. I'm being efficient on my time, and cleanup is a lot less time consuming. The big bonus is that I can get both the vegetarian and non-vegetarian on the dinner table in less than 30 minutes. I use separate chopsticks for each of the proteins just to keep everybody happy. Time to season with black pepper and chili flakes. This also gives you an opportunity to customize it based on the needs. Add your cornstarch, sprinkling it over the entire mixture now. I'm adding in good quality sesame oil now. And last but not least, vegan oyster sauce. This is where you can really customize it by adding a little bit more spice or a little less spice, in addition to the sauce that you add to it at the end.
When you're preparing the vegetarian and non-vegetarian meals, it's always easier to prepare the vegetables together and get it all assembled as far to the end point as possible at the same time, which is exactly what we did here, where we cut all the vegetables at the same time, the ginger, the garlic, because they're going to be used for both items. And just at the very end, we separated the two, one into the tofu and the other into the pork. We're going to mix them individually, and then we're going to assemble the shells.
Once you've added the chopped vegetables and spices, take the time to mix the ingredients really well so that you don't have clumps and lumps of spices or sauces. I actually find that the pork takes a little bit longer. The tofu will seem like a drier mixture than the pork. Time to wrap. About a teaspoon of filling is all you need. If you put too much filling, it'll be difficult to wrap it. Moisten the edges of one side of your square with water and press down. It doesn't press down and stick easily. You do have to firmly press each of the sides. Put a little water into one corner of the triangle, bring it over, and attach it on top of the other side of the triangle. I was trying to make it stand up, but it didn't want to do that. Now I'm doing the dry tofu mixture. It does taste delicious. It's just a little bit drier in texture. I use the exact same process, but obviously I keep them on two separate trays so that I know which one is which. Try not to let any of the mixture get into the seams. If it does get into the seams, it's very hard to seal them. It's the same process to fold it over and to close it as it was for the pork mixture. I happen to like this shape, but there's many more folds that you can do. By making a double batch, you can freeze some by putting them on a tray, let them freeze for 30 minutes, and then putting them into a Ziploc.
It's time to cook the dumplings and fry them first and then steam them. We've frozen half of them, but now, as you can see, I'm wearing an apron because this does spatter, so let's get to the cooking part.
Heat up your stove to medium-high, add oil. Once the oil is heated up, add in your dumplings. Try to make sure that the dumplings aren't touching each other and that there's a little bit space in between each other. The dumplings are ready for the next step when you see a crispy bottom, 3 to 5 minutes or so, like this. It's time to add half a cup of water and a lid so that they can steam. The steaming process helps them to continue to cook to completion. Once you place the water in, it will bubble up, so put that lid on quickly. And it's ready.
So we're finally at the point where we can taste, but before we do that, we're gonna make a quick sauce. I've got my chili garlic oil in the container. To that, I'm gonna add a little bit of sesame oil and just a smidge of soy sauce. There we go. Give that a really good stir. Oh, doesn't that look just delicious? Garnish with a few green onions. And it is definitely time to taste. Oh. Helps if I have the chopsticks the right way. I guess I'm just a little anxious. You're never going to buy store-bought again once you try this. Follow me for more interesting, innovative recipes.